Hello everyone. Last time we talked about we discussed the various classification of GVF profiles. Okay. So we classified the GVF profiles based on the slopes and flow zones. Okay. So on critical slopes, we saw that there are two profiles possible, C1 and C3. On mild slope, we got three profiles, M1, M2 and M3. On steep slope, we got three profiles, S1, S2 and S3. On horizontal slope, we got H2 and H3. And on adverse slope, we got A2 and A3. So these 12 profiles are possible. Any gradually varied flow can be classified as one of the 12 profiles, okay, GVF profiles. Now, once we know the classification, we should also understand the characteristics of each profile. Each and every profile, what are the characteristics, what is the nature of that profile, that we have to study. Okay, for example, characteristics means, suppose we have a mild slope. Okay, this is your critical depth line, suppose, and normal depth line will lie above the critical depth line because it is a mild slope. This we are knowing. Okay, suppose you place a weir on this mild slope, on such mild slope. Now of course flow will take place by normal depth. Okay, so flow is taking place like this, but because of the weir, the flow depth will change slowly like this, and it will flow over the spillway. So you are going to get, okay, so you are going to get a GVF profile. Okay, GVF profile. Now which first job is to identify this, classify this. So this will be classified as which profile? For that, what is the slope? This is a mild slope. So this will be definitely mild M profile. Okay. Now 1, 2 or 3. Now this is above the top line. The line at the top is NDL. So above that the profile is lying. So it will be definitely M1 profile. Okay. If the profile was between this NDL and CDL, it would have been M2. If it would have been above channel bed and below CDL, it would have been M3. Okay, but now this is an M1 profile. Now we've identified this profile. Now we have to know, or we have to study how the profile is behaving, whether it is a rising profile, whether the Y is increasing with depth, the depth is increasing with distance. Okay, that we should know, whether it is rising or falling. Okay, the profile can be either rising, either falling. We should also know how it is meeting the normal depth line, okay, or critical depth line, whichever. Whether it is meeting asymptotically or it is meeting like this normally, we are not knowing. So study of this nature of the gradually varied flow profiles, that we have to do. Okay, that we will start today. So that is called as characteristics of GVF profiles. Okay. So in order to study characteristics of GVF profile, we will have to use the governing equation of GVF, that is dy by dx is equal to what? We have derived that SB minus SF upon 1 minus q square T by G A cube. Okay. Now we will have to convert this equation, this governing equation, into a simplified equation. Today we are going to do that, and using that equation we are going to understand the characteristics of all these profiles. Okay. So for that purpose, we will consider a excuse me. So for that purpose, we will consider a wide rectangular channel. Wide rectangular channel means the base width is very high, greater than the depth of the flow. Okay. This kind of wide rectangular channel we will consider for the study, because it simplifies the equation. We have to simplify this equation. Okay, into as simplified a form as possible. Okay, we will do that. Now for wide rectangular channel, what is the advantage? If we calculate the hydraulic radius, it is A by P, and hydraulic radius area is what? B into Y, and perimeter is B plus twice Y. Okay, but you can neglect this twice Y. See, Y is very less than B. Suppose B is 50 meters and Y is 1 meter. So what will be your perimeter? 50 plus 252 meters. So you can neglect this in the perimeter equation. You cannot neglect y in area, but you can neglect y in the perimeter, because addition, there is addition. Okay, here there is multiplication, so you can't neglect. So this will be by upon b, so that will be y. Okay, so hydraulic radius is equal to the flow depth for wide rectangular channels. Now see, we will convert this equation. How we will convert this equation? See, suppose now we talked about a GVF profile. Let us say M1 profile we have seen now. Okay, how was that profile? I will draw that again. This was your CDL. Just for an example I am drawing so that you can imagine while applying the equation. So flow was coming with a normal depth, and then it was in a M1 profile. Okay, it was in the gradually arid flow zone. Okay, it was in the normal zone here, yn, and then it was y. Y means flow depth, y means it is in the GVF zone. Okay, this is the VR. Okay, we are talking about this profile now. Just for sample, any profile, it can be any profile. So now see, now this flow is taking place. If you want to apply the resistance equation for this flow zone, rather for the flow when it is just beginning into gradually varied, it is changing into GVF. Okay, so basically this step, if you apply resistance equation at this zone, at this section, more precisely at this section, what will happen? So you can apply the Manning's formula, fine. So apply Manning's formula here. So that is Q equal to A by N R to the power 2 by 3 SB to the power half. Here you will use bed slope. Okay, now Q is equal to A, you can write, it is a wide rectangular channel, you can write A as B into Y N. Okay, because depth is Yn. Again R is what? R is nothing but Y, flow depth. So Yn raised to 2 by 3 SB to the power half. Okay, upon N. This will be equation number 1. Okay. Similarly, if you apply the resistance equation at this location in the GVF zone, okay, in this zone if you apply the resistance equation, what is the flow depth here? Y. But we have seen in the assumptions that uniform flow equations are applicable. The resistance equation of uniform flow are also applicable for gradually varied flow. This was one of the assumptions of the theory. So you can apply at this zone, if you apply the resistance equation, you can write, this is over. So Q is equal to A by N R to the power 2 by 3. But here you cannot use SB, you will have to use SF to the power half. Because at this point, whatever is the slope of the energy line, that you will have to take. The energy line is changing like this. Okay. This is the total energy line. And slope of that line is SF. At any point here, suppose the slope is SF. Okay. So if you calculate the slope, dH by dx, it is SF. Okay. So you will have to use the friction slope or energy slope, whatever you can say. So Q will be equal to A. Now area is B into, here it will be, flow depth is Y. So area will be B into Y. Then upon N, N will not change because channel is same, the flow is also same. R is what? Y to the power 2 by 3. Again SF to the power half. This is your equation number 2. So if you divide equation number 2 by 1, we will dividing 2 by 1. What we will get? Q will be divided by Q. So we are getting 1 is equal to B and B will also get cancelled. So we have Y to the power 5 by 3 into SF to the power half upon, this will be Yn to the power 5 by 3 SB to the power half. Okay, so you can write, again SF by SB to the power half is equal to Yn by Y to the power 5 by 3. Okay, so squaring both sides we will get SF by SB to the power, SF by SB will be equal to yn by y to the power 10 by 3. Okay. So you can replace SF by SB by yn by y to the power 10 by 3. So now this was our initial equation, dy by dx. Okay. Our original equation was dy by dx equal to SB minus SF upon 1 minus q square by t by g a cube. So you can write it in this way, dy by dx is equal to SB you take common, so you are going to get 1 minus SF upon SB and upon 1 minus q square t by g a cube. Okay. So SF by SB term we have replaced by yn by y to the power 10 by 3. Now we will replace this term. Find another way to express this q square t by g a cube term. So how we can write that term, q square t by g a cube. Okay, for wide rectangular channel in the GVF zone, here we will calculate at this flow location, we will calculate the q square t by g a cube. So you can write q square t is what, top width is just the base width. Okay, top width is equal to the base width. Okay, then upon g, what is a cube? A is b into y, so b cube into y cube. Okay, so you can write, now this b will get cancelled and you are going to get q square upon g b square y cube. Okay, but q square by b square is what? Small q square, unit discharge. Okay, discharge per unit time per unit width. Okay, flow per unit time per unit width. So it is q square by g y cube. Okay, but what is q square by g? We know that the critical depth is what? Cube root of q square by g for wide rectangular channel or rectangular channel. Okay, so q square by g is yc cube. So you can write this q square t by g a cube will become yc cube upon y cube. Okay, so you can write this term here as, so dy by dx will be SB 1 minus yn by y to the power 10 by 3 upon 1 minus yc by y to the power cube. Okay, now this equation we have simplified the governing equation of GVF into a very simple form, where we will use this form to study the characteristics of all the flow profiles. Whatever 12 profiles we have seen in the last lecture, we will understand the characteristics of those profiles using this equation, this simplified version for the wide rectangular channel. Okay, so we will find all the characteristics of all the flow profiles. Okay, so we are going to use this equation from the next class. Okay, for understanding the profiles. Thank you.